Hello. It's Wednesday, and today I mowed the lawns and spruced up the old outside of the house for the final requirement of my land bank compliance, which is the exterior photos. They need photos that are less than 30 days old of all four sides of the building, just to kind of show that it's in good shape. So let's have a look. This is what we've got here. I mowed the lawn, so you can see this side lot. I also mowed that. There were a bunch of tree weeds all over the place, especially up here. There was a massive one. So I chopped that all out, bought a nice pruning saw, went to town. I was going to get a chainsaw, but didn't need it. So this is the western side. Looks pretty nice, doesn't it? So I think that's a pass. Western side, pass. It's been a funny old time. Super special shout out to lovely friends, old and new, Steve and Nicole. My first ever house guests. They came and stayed for a couple of nights a few weeks ago for, I can't remember what the weekend was. It was marked by a crazy storm and the basement flooded the night that they arrived. Anyway, I'll get onto that in a bit. Here's the front. I guess we call this the north. So that's pretty good. I think our main concern is going to be these steps, potentially. But yeah, I've got one set of functioning steps, so hopefully that's okay. I put some flowers there just to kind of tart it up a little bit. And yeah, I mowed all of the verge and kind of just neatened it up. So it's looking pretty good, don't you think? But yeah, fucking Steve and Nicole, much love. Yeah, they got there here in this insane rainstorm, 1 in 50 year, 1 in 100 year kind of thingo. Places flooded all over the city, including yours truly. And yeah, the basement filled with water. It was only about 8 inches at its deepest. It was draining okay. It was just coming in through leaky foundations. So one of the things that I'll be doing in the next year or two is excavating all around the outside of the building down to kind of the footing level and parging the wall and waterproofing it all really nicely and putting in drain tile and all that good stuff. Drain tile is this kind of drain stuff that you bury in the ground, and groundwater finds its way to it and can get away nice and quick before soaking in more. So here we have the eastern side. So that looks nice. Again, there are some big weeds and stuff along here that I chopped out. My downspouts don't go all the way, they just come down here and then they kick out, so the water gets squirted away. In some places downspouts get pinched, which is weird to think about, but yeah, for the scrap metal. But these, or just even to use on other buildings, but I think I'm going to be pretty safe here. I think I'm going to continue these down to the ground, maybe just in PVC, a less attractive material to steel. So anyway, Land Bank said they're okay with the downspouts just going down halfway. It was the suggestion of my gutter guy actually to just do the downspouts halfway. He said if you don't have to, just leave them a little bit high so that ne'er-do-wells don't come and take them. I was like, cool, great idea, man. So I've got the other half of the downspouts in my basement. Yeah, Steve and Nicole arrived, basement flooded, and despite it all, we had a wonderful time. It was really nice. There was a lot of love. It was amazing having other bodies inhabiting the house with me. It just felt so nice. It is. I mean, I welcome it. It's part of the process. But it is a pretty kind of solitary existence here, and so it was just super lovely to have good company for a weekend. So here is the rear. Areas of concern are this boarded up door and this missing siding, I don't think the land bank people are going to see this. So let's just say that there might have been some photoshopping involved with the pictures that I submitted. Just to make it easier for them to make the right decision, you know. I'm not trying to deceive anyone. I'm trying to help them do their job, you know, effectively, and get a property off the books. It must be frustrating when people send in pictures of houses with like bits missing. So, you know, if I worked at the land bank, I'd like to see pictures of houses in good repair. So I'm just complying. And that's why they call it compliance, isn't it? So anyway, those are the 4 sides. I think we're going to be okay, which I expect to find out tomorrow. And if I find out tomorrow, I own this place completely. There's all risk of it getting taken off me goes away entirely. I mean, that's just never going to happen anyway. I've made pretty good progress on this place. The land bank says you're meant to do it all in 9 months, but when I closed, the lady said, "Yeah, no, take a couple of years, like as long as, and even longer, as long as you're making like substantial progress." They don't want them back, so I've done pretty good, I reckon. So yeah, bloody fingers crossed. Tomorrow it might be celebration time, and also side lots, because I spoke to my compliance officer. Not sure if I've mentioned this, and he said the lots are still available. He said they're still owned by the land bank. I told him that I couldn't find them on the sales portal anymore, and he said just to keep an eye on it. Hopefully they'll pop up again sometime. I'm just going to bug them like crazy. I'm going to go mental, and in the meantime I'm going to like mow the side lots and just start using them. Yeah, if you can demonstrate that you're maintaining them and even using them for stuff, productive purposes, then yeah, you stand a pretty good chance of snapping them up. So those are the exterior photos. That's what I did. Isn't that cool? We'll go down to the basement and start. Oh, yep. So what's easiest? What's this thing? So here's my electrical panel. It's really filling up. See all these lovely new wires? We'll see where they come from soon. And these are all the wires that I have to actually land in my panel. So the wires kind of like come in and then they land like this in the breakers. So the hots go to a breaker and the neutrals go to the neutral bar, and the grounds go to the ground bar, which is behind those black wires. Neutrals and grounds can kind of get mixed up, but I like to keep them separate just for aesthetics. I'm very proud of my breaker panel. I think it's a pretty neat install. I've had a fair bit of exposure to old houses at this point, and I've seen some real shockers. So I think that panel will do me well in the case of any inspections. During inspections, I don't know, the more shoddy things seem on the surface, the more likely an inspector is to open up walls, do like destructive stuff to see exactly what's going on. But if you can demonstrate that there's professionalism in like every stage of your work, then they're more at ease, and I think not as anxious about looking under the skin to see what's going on. I mean, I'm doing everything properly. I just don't want an inspector making a bunch of holes in my walls that I need to repair, because I'm not getting permits for any of this work, which is okay. You don't have to. It just means down the line, if I want to sell this for any substantial amount of money, I'll have to get a certificate of occupancy. A certificate of occupancy, because the banks will require that. They're not going to lend someone, $250,000 or whatever it is, to buy a place if it isn't like certified by an authority of some sort. And the authority in this case is the City of Detroit. So to get that certificate of occupancy, without having gotten permits and such forth and the like, I will have to get a certificate of occupancy inspection, which is, I think it's several $1,000s. There's a lot riding on it. It's very in depth. So a city inspector comes out and he looks at everything, the electrical, the plumbing, your heating system, wall surfaces, make sure that floors are separated with with adequate fire sealing and things like that. Fire sealing foam, the stuff you seal up all the holes. So yeah, gotta keep that in mind. So yeah, having fun doing the electric, that's for sure. It's great. And it means I get electricity all over the house, which is super cool. Okay, so I left this so you could see it. That there is the high water mark from the flood. You can see that kind of faint ring around the base of the toilet. So this entire basement was just like a lake. Yeah, it was just like woof, water, and it was all coming in from the bottom of that far wall. There was just a couple of points, but the ground water pressure was just so high because it was torrential. Like my downspouts were just like a solid column of water shooting out of them. It was coming down faster than, it was coming down at like the maximum level that my downspouts could handle. My gutters weren't overflowing, I don't think, which was a, credit to my gutter installer. Maybe they were a little bit, but yeah, it was hardcore. Water was coming in like crazy. It was draining through the floor drains. It was just coming in way faster than it could drain out. So this whole place was pretty dank. Luckily I got everything of value up off the floor. And anything that was on the floor was resilient, like plastic tubs and such. So it was okay in the end, except this place ended up being left really, really dank. And so I'm running a fan just to keep air moving around. Occasionally I move the fan around just to like kind of fan different areas. And I bought this little dehumidifier, which is cranking around the clock, and it's just pulling water out of the air, and it's taken this space from like a very dank 95% humidity down to 80, and it's even dipped as low as 75. So I'm gonna just start running the dehumidifier more periodically. I think it's going to cost me a little bit in I was going to say petrol, electricity. Yeah, they're fairly efficient, but yeah, we want to save costs where we can. So now we're going upstairs. Oh, is that it? Yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, I think I've got a raccoon living in the house. So I'm going to borrow an animal trap off this bloke I'm working with and see if we can trap the raccoon. Hopefully it doesn't have babies. I have to do a raccoon nest inspection in the attic at some point. Ooh, up the stairs, there we go. So here we are in the kitchen. Oh, this is exciting, you haven't seen this, so I'm excited to show you. So, keeping it hidden for maximum dramatic effect. I've mocked up my kitchen island. So I've built the wall. So this is the permanent structure that will form like the basis of the island, and then that will get covered in sheetrock or some other paneling material. I'm not sure what that's going to be yet. I think it might just be drywall, but it could be like beadboard or something that looks a little bit more interesting. I'm not sure yet. I mean, I could even use cement board, like backer board, and tile it. I think that might be a bit over the top and also a little bit pricey. Yeah, I'm not sure. Jury's out. It's fine like this for now, and so I can get all of my electric circuits in. These circuits, woohoo! Man, kitchens require a lot of separate circuits. I've used like 250 feet of wire just wiring up this kitchen. There's a lot going on. To the point of doing things properly, just don't want to mess around with the electric, so cut any corners or anything like that. So I'm just really going nuts doing it properly. So here we have where the oven and stove will go. So this one up the top, that's for the range hood. These ones here to this side and over here are for like countertop, outlets. This one down here is going to be a combo, so that's going to contain like a 30 amp outlet for the electric oven that I want to have, 30 amp 220 volt, which is a big beefy connection, hence the big orange wire. You can kind of see it's much fatter than the yellow wire. And then the one next to it is going to be just a regular 20 amp outlet for the cooktop and maybe for something else under there, but the oven's going to go there. So yeah, the cooktop will be gas, so really that is kind of overkill, but it's running off the range hood, so I just wanted to make sure that we had plenty of electricity there, hence the 20 amp wire. I've pretty much used 20 amp everywhere. You can get away with 15 for a lot of things, and it is cheaper and easier to run. It's a more flexible, kind of slightly thinner wire. Yeah, I've just used 20 amp everywhere, pretty much. I'll use 15 for the light circuit in here, because lights use really very little electricity. But for heavy appliances, and if you're plugging in like coffee machines and stuff, you want to make sure you got plenty of power. So yeah, those are my outlets for the cooking zone. Then over here, we have, this is going to be like kind of it's going to be another countertop underneath this window. It's going to be a cabinet under here. And so code requires that you have one outlet for every 4 feet of countertop space. No outlet should be further than 2 feet from any point on a countertop, if that makes sense. So anyway, I need 2 here. So I've got one here, and there'll be another one there. 2 outlets. It's going to go like that. It's going to be great. And then, yeah, my kitchen island. Check it out. So the top is temporary. It's just a piece of plywood. But I'm going to, it's temporary. It's kind of permanent temporary. It's temporary until it like turns to shit or the kitchen's finished and I put in better tops. This is certainly going to do for like a year or so. I'm going to polyurethane it. Several coats of polyurethane. It'll be nice and hardy for just like prepping on. I mean, you use chopping boards and stuff anyway. It'll be able to take some knocks of plates and things like that. I'm going to cut a hole in it. So the sink is going to go about here. So I'll cut a sink into it. And then my sink drain is going to go down that hole. And water will come up in this wall. And then we'll have it all connected. Cabinets and countertops will be down the track, probably during winter, if I'm around. And we'll get onto that in a sec. But yeah. Oh yeah, and this little project you might have seen is just a nice marble tile, and I'm gonna make like a carrying serving tray out of like marble tile and copper. Just a little kind of passion project that I'm working on, just to flex my creative juices. Not that working on this house isn't, but it's just nice to do something a little bit more. I don't know, what's the word? It'll come to me. Vocabulary bad. Yeah, let's get some breeze in here. It's a little warm. What else? So yeah, kitchen. Cool, hey? Love my counter. It's already attracted heaps of stuff. Gotta love surfaces, they're good at that. It's like my table. That's another thing about having guests come and stay. Steve and Nicole came and I was just like, oh shit. As soon as it was seriously happening and they were on their way, or it was like definite plan, I saw this entire house with a new fresh set of eyes, and I was like, this will not do. So I actually, like, while they were here, I had this table cleared. I had everything like pretty neat. It was really nice. So thanks guys for making me clean. I mean, you didn't, but you did, and it was great. So land bank compliance. Fuck. The only things outstanding from when I spoke to you last and now were the bathroom stuff, which is a vanity and a toilet, and the exterior pics. And so I've shown you the exterior. Hopefully that's a win. If it's not, it should be easy to fix. Might have to build a new set of steps out the front, just temporary ones out of wood. But yeah, since then I've installed a vanity. So now I've got, so this is a temporary vanity just to get me over the line with the land bank, and also to give me something to brush my teeth in and get a glass of water and all of that good stuff here upstairs. So at last I've got like water and a drain upstairs. So good. So good. See? And it's not just sitting there, it's all plumbed up. Water comes out, no leaks. Those pieces of cardboard are there. When I first set this up, I just put them down there to detect any drips. And this water line here actually did drip. And to take it all off, wrap some Teflon tape inside the compression fitting and yeah, do it back up. And now it's, yeah, 100% drip free, which is great. Now the toilet is just sitting there. Once again, I hope Land Bank isn't watching this because this toilet isn't connected. It is dry as a bone, and you know, it's just moving around. But I craftily put that little cap. That's the cap that goes over the bolt that holds it down. So, and I took a picture from kind of this angle. So it just 100% looks like an installed toilet, and they passed me. They said, yep, tick tick, came back with those items checked off on the checklist. So yeah, bathroom close to being done. The toilet will be connected on the 23rd, I think, is when my plumber's going to come. He was meant to come on Monday, but he's been sick and he's catching up on heaps of like flood stuff because the flood really knocked Detroit around. It was crazy. Cars were up to their roofs with water on the freeway on 94, which is just out of control. And the freeway was shut for ages, and yeah, it was a disaster zone. So that's the bathroom. Cool, huh? So, bloody land bank compliance, very imminent. Just got to wait and see what comes back regarding these exterior pics. And if that's good, then we're golden. And I'll probably make another video in short order. I'll do an update as soon as I find out. But yeah, pretty stoked. Little living room update. Love this little space. Love my blinds. At night time, there's a street light out there, and it shines, makes like the walls all stripy. It's very noir. I love it. DJ zone, been going great with the music. Every Tuesday, I go to this little bar, and I play just music for half an hour. They have like an open decks thing. So I'm making a lot of friends, getting a little following there. It's nice to have some kind of community to plug into, isn't it? That's about it. The steps. Yeah, still got to do a lot of stuff. I think the more I do, the more I realize I have to do, and it's just like, ooh, this is a big project. In the early days, I was like, yay! Every little thing I did felt like it was making a huge difference, and I was making like insane progress. But now I'm just like, oh, it's a lot. There's a lot. I'm going to start hiring people soon. I had a car accident 4.5 months ago, something like that. It was my fault. It cost me $4,000. I've been paying the guy off over this time. Gave him his last payment day before yesterday. It was Sunday. It was on Sunday. And that was emotional. Finally getting that out of the way. So now I can start building back again. And yeah, I'll have plenty of disposable income. Plus work is picking up really nicely. And speaking of work, I recently had a second interview day before yesterday with a custom home builder who are looking for a designer. And the salary is incredible. It's really, really good. And the first interview went spectacularly. It was a phone interview with Maria, who's one half of the two people of the couple that owns the business. She got a great vibe. We chatted for almost an hour, and then on Monday this week, I spoke with her husband Scott, who runs the building side of things, and we had a good chat too. We talked for 45 minutes, and it's pretty good. So I'm just waiting to hear back. We'll see. But if it's positive, then it's going to be interesting because they are in Arizona, and this is not a remote job. So I could potentially be moving to Arizona in the next month, which is a total curveball. I'm like, why not? I applied for this job on a whim. I saw the salary and I saw, designing custom homes, giddy up. Sort of not expecting much of a response, if any, and they got back to me fairly promptly, and had a great phone chat with Maria, and so unexpectedly positive all around. So it's in the mountains of Arizona. It's pretty temperate there, close to a lot of stuff, not far from Palm Springs, not far from you could drive south to Mexico, you could drive to LA, just the West Coast. There's a lot more going on in shorter distances. Much more connected to nature. It's like a small city, large town, 50,000 people in the mountains, so lots of hiking and stuff nearby. It would just be such a dramatic lifestyle shift from here, which is very urban and very kind of like, party oriented, which is kind of my bag as well, but, maybe it's time for a change. So I've sort of thrown myself to the wind in a way. I'm like, if I hear back and if they want me, I'm going to take it pretty seriously and consider the move. I have someone lined up to move in here in that eventuality, and I'm very close to having this place comfortable. I'll have to just order a bunch of these baseboards and install them. I'll have to get the walls drywalled really quickly, so I'll have to really hustle to get some basic stuff done. But the main stuff is done now. The big ticket items like electrical and plumbing. Plumbing's about to be completed. Electrical's on its way well and truly. And so, yeah, watch this space. Another thing that I will keep you in the loop on. But yeah, this is a long one, so I'm gonna sign off. It's been a ride, I tell you. Ups and downs, but overall pretty positive. So check out this. So it's this lovely postcard that Steve gave me, which is really cool. It's like super old school archaeological ruin. He spent a lot of time in Iraq, and this is in, I assume it's in Iraq somewhere. Sound off in the comments, Stephen. Where is that again? I can't remember, but it's a beautiful photo, beautiful postcard. He gave me this cool caliper and this fleur-de-lis hanger thingy. So they make a nice little pair of things. Haven't used the caliper yet. I'm tempted to. No, I won't. It's not a time for rude jokes. Nice caliper and some other little gifts that are just very nice. So that's another thing. If I do end up moving to Arizona, I 100% will be squeezing in a short trip to Cleveland to return the favor of weekend visit to Steve and Nicole. So, that's about it. Love you guys. Shout out to everybody. Thanks for tuning in. And next time I speak to you should be fairly soon, hopefully with excellent news. And until then, cheers.